now the host of Entertainment Now, Gail Scott Key.
Are you in for a treat? Do you see her? That beautiful woman to the right in your corner screen? Oh, yes. I have the pleasure of having a return guest join us from appearing courtesy of Double Exposure. Tony Award-winning, Grammy Award-nominated Melba Moore has starred on Broadway in film and on television. We celebrate with her as she garners the coveted star on Hollywood Walk of Fame and dance to her new music, So in Love. Oh my goodness, you have to hear this. You have to get it. It's the new release from her Imagine album. I'm so honored to have back and joining me now, legendary Melba Moore. Melba, you look gorgeous. You look wonderful, and I hope you've been wonderful, safe, and well, and healthy.
I have. What a wonderful welcome. Yes. What an intro. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I know we have much to talk about in a little bit of time, so we're going to do our best to get it in there as always. But first and foremost, as always, as I mentioned, I am getting over COVID. So, of course, Richard is helping me.
Oh, God, I'm so sorry.
I know. I go away for a business trip and I get a parting gift. What can I say?
Oh,
No?
I know. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. How have you been doing?
Very, very well. I haven't had COVID, but I've had some colds and stuff. I've just been fighting, make sure, because there's nothing to play with. We know that. So I hope that you're fine.
Yeah.
Everything's okay.
Thank you. Many blessings and much support. My husband is also going through it too, because sharing is caring. So that's how we roll.
Yes.
Yes. You are such a trooper, Gail. Thank you for inviting me. And Melba, it is such an honor. I'm the pinch hitter here today. I am starstruck, as I said earlier. You are a legendary artist and performer. And what's really neat and so exciting is you keep doing more. So I was reading up on this bio that was sent over to me, and so I could learn a little bit more about you. And I happened to mention it to a soul music artist, and they were like, "Are you kidding me?" I mean, you're still so well known. I'm curious, about this thing that happened in the whole DJ D-Nice's club quarantine, because that was a weird time for a lot of us. And yet this virtual dance party happens, and marvelous Melba Moore.
I guess one of the reasons why I continue on is because of people like D-Nice who put me on their platforms and share their audiences with me. I mean, how else is it going to happen? So I can't take credit for that. I can just say thank you. And I was very happy that George Pedersen, Angela, his wife, wrote that song for me, that Just Doing Me, that they, was playing and gave me some new music to put out, so, but I love it. I get all the credit, right? It was my record. I did it. I sang it. But, I'm not a songwriter. I'm not a producer. And of course, I'm not a DJ. And DJs got all the power these days.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new world. It certainly is. Now we know DJs. They're celebrities themselves.
Yes.
So I think it's pretty amazing. And I also like the vibe of the new album. And it's got this whole feel-good vibe to it.
So does that mean that you've listened to some of it?
Well, we were even before.
Yes,
I listened to it because Melba, I would let's set the scene for everybody who's listening, tuning in. Now, if you have this track, okay, So in Love, picture yourself, summertime, convertible down. I don't care. Your day could be the worst day. You just play this track and all of a sudden it brings you back in the reminiscence of like, oh my goodness, what? You've got the Queen going on here. You've got the sun going through the hair. You've got the wind blowing and you are just having so much fun that you don't even hear the sirens of the post office. Okay. because Melba is playing. So we need to stop. Okay. So that's how wonderful it is. And I understand your daughter also helped in the production of this, in the back setting of it. Please explain a little bit more about this for us.
Well, she kept bringing me these songs well, I guess we stopped and put everything together about a year ago now. But prior to that, for about 2 or 3 years, she kept bringing me these songs. And she said, you know, Uncle Bo thinks this is really good for you. I said, yeah, but so what? I'm not married to his brother anymore. We don't have a company anymore. We barely have a family. Don't be for you anymore. So she says, well, he just wants you to listen to it. So she did the song after song after song. I loved each song. He paid for everything to go into the studio just to try to see if they were okay. So to make a long story a little bit shorter, what it means is that there were no financial restrictions.
Mm.
There were no recording, category restrictions. Nobody told me what I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
They wasn't going to fire me if I didn't like it. My daughter might as well be, mini me. I'm not going to say no to her, at least I'm never going to express everything, but we're really just going to explore to see what we want to do. So that's how I feel about it. So when the project is finished, she says, Mom, we have about 10 songs or so. What do you want to do? Yeah. I said, I don't know.
Release them.
So no, I said, well, why don't you sequence them? Let's see what we really got. See if it connects. See if there's, and there does seem to be a theme. There does seem to be a feeling. There does seem to be a diversity that's organically and naturally made. So what we realize is we have gospel, we have jazz, we have a little sassy, take a picture down off that wall if you're going to be in here with me. We have a kind of a wonderful feeling of, it sounds kind of Broadway-ish, thank you kind of a song that says, Diva, no, I don't know about all that, but if it wasn't for all of you, I wouldn't have anything that I have. And I just want to thank you. We have that. Now, I didn't find these songs. She did.
Wow.
So this is somebody else seeing you for who you are and helping you be that, who knows you and loves you and understands that they have to sell. It can't just be what we like.
Right.
So I think we had this incredible project because we wanted to.
Oh, that makes it even better as far as I'm concerned. So when you actually get to do something that you want to do, I feel like it becomes more of a labor of love versus its business, and it does come through, when you hear it. I love that. And even when you mentioned Broadway-ish, because so many things were shut down.
But Broadway was
nice
shut
to
down.
hear. Yeah, it's kind of nice to hear, hey, we can come out again. We can come out and feel good.
I think what Gail said is what I do. So you hear it in the music. I go out in the sunshine, honey.
Yeah.
I love it.
And let it blow through my wig. And I walk mountains. I mean, I'm very, very impressionable with the seasons. Like I live in a place that has, it's a fairly new community. I don't. Do you know where West New York is, New Jersey?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Well, it's like part of it is right on the Hudson.
Yes. Yeah.
So I can look across and see this incredible skyline. Oh. And the skyline of New York it keeps changing.
Yes.
Unbelievable what it is now. But on the west side is this like kind of hills and mountains. But what happens is it's summer now, so it's all green. It's like a green wall. But it's like a little mountain, and there are 3 areas that you can walk up. So I walk up there.
Oh, bless your heart.
So, and it's not easy. So, you're huffing and you're puffing and you're getting strong, and we're doing what you did when you experienced So in Love. Yeah. So if you're not sexual, you could at least be sensual.
This is why we love you. And this is why it also topped charts in the UK. I understand when this was released, the 3 weeks you were holding steady atop in the UK charts for the 30 charts. And you also, on the airwaves, they brought you into the US. I mean, we were never going to let you go anyway. And then this, it only showed more adoration for you when I understand. Congratulations to the star for the Hall Walk of Fame.
Thank you so much.
Really, congratulations.
I will never step on you, my dear. I will never step on you. I will no, I'm sorry.
Walk around this here.
I'll be gonna be like taking pictures, be like, look at how does it feel? How does that feel?
Well, I see that is something really to be impressed with for a lot of reasons. It's not just given, there's a whole big process. And your fans do that for you. And it costs a lot of money. They actually not only nominate you, but it has to be paid for. And then you still have to be nominated. So it's a big deal. And
it's an incredible honor. Yeah.
And from what I'm seeing from people's response, they are impressed.
No, but you are loved. I posted up that you were coming on and people just were like blowing up. They were like, what? Don Most from Happy Days, my good friend from Don Most, he's like, I love Melba. I'm like, yes, well, we're going to be loving her too. And you just need to make sure you listen to her single. And he's like, I'm all over it. I'm all over it. Oh. And if he could have gone on here tonight to talk to you, believe me, he would have been. So, you know, it's all good. It's you just bring us back. I love, love, love you. I remember even in high school and in the 80s and such, you carried us through so much. You're so poised, you're so beautiful, and you are grounded. And I mean that from the heart, Melba, because you know this industry can change people. How do you stay true to yourself to make that an inspiration for even the young generation looking at you?
Well, I'm a born again Christian, so it's not all about me. Right. I get my instructions every day. I'm Catholic, so we have church every day. There you go. And I celebrate what you call Passover or communion every day. I take the body and the blood of Christ. So I know that this only happens because he's at the cross. And so we relive this every day so that I feel like there's some certain supernatural impartation that which, you know, we all, because we're alive. Yes. I'm trying to say it, but yes, it's the life force in us. That he says, you obey that. I'll put that on you every day. Come on.
Wow. It's funny you say that because Melba, I was so moved when you were saying something, and it reminded me of a pastor that I heard. You know how sometimes you'll search YouTube and you'll hear kind of a good sermon or something. And he was saying that the way the generation is now, that it used to be a time that we would look at a waterfall, right? And we will be like in awe of it. But now like people are so like, oh, first thing that comes to their mind is let's take a selfie of myself. But you weren't like that. You actually still see, you know, the skyline. You still see the green. And as you were talking about it, I'm like, that's got to be part of why she's like that. She's a spiritual person, right? A very spiritual person.
Thank you, Richie.
I love that. Yeah, I think it flows into. Would you say that that's a big part of?
No, that's it. It's the life force you see.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, if it was just me, something very important would be missing, and part of what it is you.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what
this is how we share each other.
Yes.
This is how we share the life force. I can say a little bit of it, but it's a mystery. But when it's there, my gosh.
Yes, it is. It is amazing. I think nature does that. Music does that for us as well.
Yes.
It just speaks to our spiritual self.
And Richie, what you're bringing to my attention is that God has made me attentive to. That's why I'm doing music. That's what I'm allowed to participate in music. So that's what I'm going to have to pass on. Because everything is contagious.
Yes.
So you want to make sure it's that.
Yeah. I think we're all given like a special work. Clearly your music is a gift that's going to be left for generations. But
you said something very, very important. The whole point is we're all given something. So we want to spark this in each other.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
I'm
I love
glad
that.
you're telling him this, Melba, because I tell him he has this gift and he'll humbly put his head down and be like, and I'm like, lift that head up, lift that head up. And you lift our heads up, and we are so attentive and so excited to have you here. And for those who are tuning in, of course, you don't have to readjust your eyes. It's legendary Melba Moore who is here with us, and we are learning. And believe you me, her gifts, I am so glad that she tuned into the fact, even at a young age, about honing in on her gifts, because we have benefited from it. We have listened to it throughout the generations, and we are here celebrating with her. And I'm glad that you are joining as well. And we're continuing on this conversation on Gail Scott Key's Entertainment Now with my special guest co-host, Richie Richmond Gia, as well as legendary Melba Moore. And Melba, as we are talking about and keeping this fluent, talk about in those school years when you first started and you knew you had this gift.
Oh, no, I didn't know. Maybe that's why I want to protect it. I want to respect it. I started out in a broken family, single mother, and she was a singer. She was an aspiring singer. She was very young. She was only like 19 to 20 years old. And my natural father, she did not marry, but he was a famous band leader. She probably sang in his band. I'm not sure of that whole story, but his name is Teddy Hill. You can Google him. And so it's in my DNA.
Yes.
But and she was taking care of my grandmother, and we all lived in a wonderful apartment there on 108th Street in Central Park West in Manhattan. She had moved from Birmingham, Alabama, up north to try to become a singing star. And but my grandmother had had strokes and was starting to fail in health. And so I don't really know my family history. And she wasn't able to speak or anything. So for that, I don't know my history. But also, there was no music in my house for those first years. And I was raised essentially by a nanny who took care of me and my grandmother. And she was an orphan. She was illiterate. She was raised by sharecroppers. They don't even own the farm. they just run the farm for somebody else. So I really understand what it is to be adopted or humble or just not to really not to belong.
Yeah.
That's my beginnings and that's my family. But my mother married an incredible person. My stepfather, who was a piano player, and they worked together. They formed a group. They moved from New York to Newark, New Jersey, where he was from and his whole family was from. But he had a son and a daughter, so now I had a sister and brother. My original community is starting to formulate here, and he had sisters and brothers, so I had aunts and uncles, cousins. I had a whole family, and music. Since my mother and he performed together, and he made my stepbrother and me take piano lessons. Now I started to become intimately acquainted with music. I started to learn an instrument. So now I'm going from no music for the first 10 years of my life. Now I'm immersed in music.
Yes.
So it's not like I discovered I had this talent. Everybody in our family was talented. But that continued on through junior high school until I realized that I didn't want to go to public school. And if I wanted to, I could go to a music and art high school. So I auditioned for Art and Music High School in Newark, majored in vocal music there. And then, everybody has a great voice there. So I didn't stand out, but I knew I wanted to stay in music. I didn't yet know that I wanted to be, or I could be a performer. So then I went to Teachers College and got a Bachelor of Arts degree in vocal music, and I taught it in the public schools. And then after doing that for about 3 years, so I'm really a late bloomer. That's my whole
I'm glad
point.
you bloomed. I'm glad you bloomed. See?
Gail, wasn't it interesting when she said there was no music in the house? It's almost like the music found you. Some people look for it. It's like it found you. It still found its way to you. As your life transitioned, and it was already in you apparently, because here we are. But I think that's really amazing, the transition from no music in the house to now you're going to school for it, let's major in it. Let's, it's really, it's quite a journey. I don't think I've heard one quite like that.
And
go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no,
yeah, I think it's very unique.
I just want to say, God makes things, unique. And I've been taught now by my dear friend Shirley Murdoch that it used to be called an autobiography. Now it's a testimony. Go ahead, Gail.
No, I was just going to say, there are also legendary performers like yourself who would also recognize you. I mean, let's not forget Diana Ross, Patti LaBelle, Nancy Wilson. There have been so many, but you've also taken on into the TV and film that we also wanted to make sure that we had recognized, because we were both laughing, Richie and I, about with one actress, that Diane Keaton. Now, this is what I'm going to say. I've noticed she saved herself a lot of money because the woman's style never changed. She's always stayed the same. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but she was precocious.
Yeah, okay.
She had it from the beginning.
Thank you, Ella. Thank you. I'm just saying. And it was just interesting because, when it came to that time and you were the first female lead and broke all the rules, being the first Black woman to replace a white actress featured on a role in Broadway.
Right.
That is extraordinary.
Right.
How did you feel about that?
Oh, I knew it was amazing, but it was just an amazing time. We're talking about 67, 68, 69.
Heard of.
So those were the times of the riots.
Yes.
Those were the times when Martin Luther King was killed.
Yes.
When JFK was killed. When Robert Kennedy was killed.
Mm-hmm.
So much. Eventually, I was able to spend time with Dr. Dorothy Heighton, National Council of Negro Women, and find out that we had an anthem, a Black anthem, and record it with many other people so that we could start to make that awakening to other people who didn't know that we had that. But hair just broke away so many barriers, and I just happened to be there in a recording session doing the backup for the music director Galt McDermott, who wrote and he also wrote the music, and he was co-producing his own solo album of the music with Jim Rado and Jerry Ragney, who wrote the book and who were the stars of it. And they were still casting. So they said whoever was on the recording session, if they would come down and sing for the director and the producers, they would find parts for us. But they weren't interested because the scale pay was $130 gross.
Oh,
and we made money. We made about $30 an hour.
Wow.
And every recording session was at least 3 hours, and you have maybe 2 or 3 a day. And so like per week, you could make several hundreds of dollars. So $130. I said, nah. But I said, oh, they're going to teach me how to act on the job. That's what I thought,
Right. Oh my God. As I'm looking at you, and I'm sure Richie Rich is also checking this out, there is another thing that you could do. Let's see. So she's an actress, a singer. She's prolific. And I'm thinking she could do skincare, because I'm like, sister, your skin is so flawlessly gorgeous.
Oh, no, that's good makeup today. I was just telling my daughter, I need a massage. My poor little face is getting tired from all these Zooms. That's the
Melba, I love you. I just love you.
I love the way you had the theater and the film. I went to your Wikipedia page because I was so excited reading about you, and I was kind of wondering. It really sticks out to me when you were featured in the film The Fighting Temptations, because I was like, and the reason is I'm Cuban, and there's that artist Cuba Gooding Jr. So whenever I hear his name, I always think about my roots. What was it like working on a featured film like that?
Well, I haven't told you, but because I'm a born again Christian, and I'm sure that happened to me because of some of the challenge of losing my family, my life, my health. Things were shut down for several different times, and I really was started all over. And for a while, I wasn't doing anything. Well, a gentleman who preceded Tyler Perry, his name is Michael Matthews, started the gospel musical theater genre. And he called me out onto the road to do this play called Mama, I'm Sorry. Just at the time I was getting evicted, lost my family, my career, everything. And so my point is, I didn't go to the movies. I didn't know who Cooper Gooding Jr. was. I knew who his father was, because of his songs, because of his hit records. So my point is this: when we were on the set of Fighting Temptations, he was trying to be the choir director, right? And in his role, he didn't know nothing about directing no choir. So I thought he was really, 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 really good, as an actor and everything. But he stood flat-footed and did a back over flip. I was asphyxiated. I can't say the word.
He was asphyxiated. Wow.
Because he's such an athlete. I didn't know his work.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I think I saw him in that one movie, the one with Jerry Maguire, where he played the football player.
Show me the money.
Show me the money.
We all were saying that after.
I've seen it now.
Yeah, it struck me also when you said that you went through these difficult times, and I thought about it too. Like, hey, just because somebody's had, and I work with a lot of affluent people and celebrities and stuff like that, and my other exploit, but I'm noticing more and more that just because somebody has achieved great things doesn't make them immune to difficult times.
No.
And I don't know how much that plays into your music or your life, because I know you're very spiritual.
It's everything. It's everything. I don't think I would have known to be spiritual, but there wasn't anything else. And and especially when I lost my daughter, I didn't know where she was. Or it's not about you then. You have a certain kind of grief when it's happened to you.
Yeah.
But there's another whole thing happening when it's happening to your child, someone that and as far as I knew, she was okay. So there was hope.
Mm-hmm.
You could fight. Maybe I could get a gun and shoot somebody or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Praise God. I can
so
joke
humble
about it now. Huh?
You're so humble. Like it's such an attractive quality.
But that's true.
It is.
I probably would have done something really, because I would have become bitter. I would become angry. How the hell am I out here homeless?
Wow.
Because of what you did. And that would take root. The first thing that had to take root was, where is my child?
Oh.
And then you start to follow another, and eventually you get to, I think I need God here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you stay there. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you for being so vulnerable.
Yeah.
It comes through in the music that you're real, and it comes through when people speak to you. It's real. It's not pretend, and just makes you more attractive in so many ways.
Well, and then you can see what I'm saying. Well, why I would be excited about it. She's now the executive producer. I have new music. It launches her into her entrepreneurial position. It brings the family back so that we want to try to forgive and forget for this project and do what God put us together. That gave us all such joy and success and made us a family. There's some part of it that can be saved.
Well, I'll tell you, we are saved, and we're listening to a little bit of the track of Melba Moore, So in Love, because we are so in love with you. And I am so honored that you've returned. And you have VIP on my show anytime you want, sister, anytime you want. And I am so happy. And the track is So in Love. It's from her new album, Imagine. And for all of you who are tuning in, we can see this on YouTube. And also you can catch us on Tap the Mic Radio and my special guest co-host, Rich Mangia. And
Richie!
Melba Moore. I'm like, I can't believe this.
He looks like Home Alone.
I know.
So Oh, what an
He's never
honor.
alone because we all have God, and that's what keeps
Thank
you,
you.
right?
Thank you guys for being yourselves. Thank you. Gosh.
Thank you.
Thank
You are amazing, and we'd love to have you back anytime. And of course, Melba is appearing courtesy of Double Exposure, our friends over there. We thank them so much, and we thank you for tuning in. And of course, we will be putting up the track, So in Love. We are so in love with you, Melba Moore, for everything that you do, and thank you for inspiring and encouraging us always.
I bless you for sharing your audience with me. Thank you, both of you, very, very much.
Thank you.
Stay well, stay successful.
Absolutely. You too. Thank you so much.